okay, remote and all that. So my experience spans quite a number of places. Some of the challenges that you guys have mentioned are challenges that I've faced before. If I've not faced it, I have mentees and people that I've worked with in the past that have faced it, and there are quite a number of solutions that I can prefer to you. All right. So I want the session to be very interactive, and thanks for sharing all those things. Now let's go to the foundation of everything. Okay. If you could land an interview, you're likely not going to be here. If you could apply for jobs 5, 10, and you can guarantee yourself 2, 3 interviews, you're likely not going to be here. Okay. Now, there's a reason why you're getting rejected. Now, some people might get to the first level, second, third, but you're not really getting that offer. There is a reason why you're not getting that offer. Okay. And that's the first part where I want to start from. There's a reason why you are getting rejected, or people get rejected. Okay. Um, and I'm going to talk about it in one slide so that you understand it better. Okay. Now we have this first set of people, okay, that apply for jobs, and all they do is apply, but they just get rejection emails. Nobody reaches out to them. Nobody tells you anything. Nobody even tells you, oh, we saw your CV, and we want to call you. No email, no communication. You apply, and there is nothing. Crickets. That's it. Now, if you're in that particular category, first off, okay, this category basically means your CV is bad. And that's why we want to start off with our CV today, in today's session. So if you're in this category where you apply for jobs and all you hear is crickets, you don't hear any feedback, no recruiter is calling you, nothing is hearing, you're not hearing back, essentially, your CV is bad. Okay? Now we have the second set of people that, okay, they apply for jobs and they get people to call them. They get people calling them. Okay? But they find out that after the first call, it's silence after that. Nobody reaches out back to you. Nobody sends you an email, or even if they send you an email, it's unfortunately, we can't move past this level. So most people might scale the first level and get stuck on the second level, which is where they call you and they don't reach back. Nobody reaches back out to you. Now, if you're in this category, you don't know how to answer interview questions. You don't know how to tailor yourself better during an interview. Now, there are certain ways you need to answer questions. And from my own experience, even as a Nigerian, I relocated to different parts of the world, we freestyle our answers. Our answers are freestyled. Okay, can I get to know you? For example, oh, can we get to meet you? Tell me about yourself. Oh, you now start narrating all your experience. When I finished secondary school, I started my career as a business analyst in a bank. From there, I got another job and I moved to another organization. Then you do a summary of all your experiences from top to bottom. Okay, and that's it. Okay, thank you. Then at the end you say thank you, and then you move on. But that's not the way that's but that's the way we did it in Nigeria. That's the way I learned it also. Nobody really taught me how to answer those questions. I just freestyle and I just continued that same way. But if you're answering questions like that, it doesn't put you in a good light, especially to the recruiter. Okay. Now, that's the second set of people. Then we move again to the third set of people, which is the second level interview. So the first level interview is usually HR. HR will reach out to you, somebody in the HR department, or somebody in HR, or the employer or the recruiter will reach out to you to ask you certain basic, not really basic questions, but they would ask you questions that is tailored verbatim to the role. So the person would have the job description opened up. As they are speaking to you, they'll be asking you a question. That's the first level. That's the HR. They'll be asking you a question. Oh, do you have experience working with this particular tool? Have you worked in this kind of organization before? They would ask basic questions like that. Okay. And if you don't pass that level, then you're not very good at interviews. Okay. Then the C, which is the third group, is people that get dropped at the second level. Now, the second level is very, very, very. The first level and the third level, the first level, which is the CV, bad CV, and the third one, group C. That's the bulk of where people get dropped a lot. Now, why am I saying this? Group C basically is the IRA manager. Now, this is most likely the person you're going to be working with. Okay, the person you're reporting to. That's the person that would interview you for your second level interview. Now, this person can easily decode if you are doing the job, or if you've done it before, you've not done it before, or whatsoever the case might be. They would be it will be so easy for them to know because they are doing it currently. They can ask you questions, okay? And if you can answer those questions properly, you're likely going to get dropped. Okay, so that's why Group C also is a major area where people will get dropped. Then we have the fourth one, which is the technical stage. Okay, so for the guys that are not technical, the guys that are like in digital marketing, for example, they might give you they might give you a case study, all right, to go work on a case study. It doesn't have to be like data set or simulations and all that. It could actually just be a case study, okay? And they want you to go design the reports or design something. Has anybody been in that situation before where they give you like a report or a case study to go work on? Just give me a thumbs up if you've been in that situation before. Let's see, let's see. Has anybody been in that situation before? Okay. Babajide, this is a very detailed summary. I'm going to read this in a bit, okay? All right, just two people actually. All right, tagging along basic jobs, sort of immigration. Okay, all right, that's good. All right, so let's go into it. So now looking at this, where are you currently stuck? Where are you currently stuck? Do you know where you're currently stuck? I'd like to know. Okay, so ABC, put it in the chat. Let's see. Put it in the chat. I'd like to know where you are currently stuck. I would like to know where you're currently stuck. Okay, so just put it A, B, C, or D. So where do you keep getting stuck? Cloud ops engineering. Okay. A, B, C, or D. A, B, C, D. Where are you currently stuck? So where would you say you belong to at the moment? Energy, 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 guys. Guys, I need energy, guys. All this. If you're I need more energy. Okay, C also. Okay, I can see some C's here. Okay, A and C. Like I said, that's like a major area where a lot of people will get, a ton of C and D. Okay, D is very good. Okay, D is also good. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. C and D, that's it. So Babajide, that's a good one. So we'll talk about that. Okay, and I'll share one of my experiences very quickly. So with this D, I was also stuck on C and D for a while. Okay, for a while when I moved to the UK initially, I was stuck on C and D. So I'd already got my share of experience in A and B when I was in Ireland, and I moved to the UK. Then I was met with C and D. So first level, second level will be good. The third level, technical assessment, I will get dropped, and that's it. So I wanted to know the reason why. I started asking questions, okay, and I started, I learned from it. But I'll share my own personal experience across board, okay, and you get to learn from it anyways. Now, the number one reason why you're facing these issues, do you know the number one reason why you're facing this is because of you. All right. Now, take it for example, we are in a session where we are interacting together to figure out how to help you achieve stuff better, faster, and more efficiently. Basic questions are being given and nobody's responding to me. But like, I want, I want us more push. Okay. So it's intentionality at the end of the day. Okay. And if you're not intentional about your job application process, it's not going to go the way you want it to go. Okay. So the number one issue is you. And I said this at the start of the session. Most people approach job application from their own point of view, not from the point of view of the recruiter, the employer, or whoever it is. Okay. Your approach to job application is because it's from your own point of view. When they see my CV, they will know I can do the job. Okay. When they read my resume, that's when they know I can do the job. But it's 100% doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Okay, and I will explain to you the reason why it doesn't work that way. Okay, so if you've done brand and visibility in Nigeria and you're coming to Canada, okay, and you wanted to get to know that you've done brand and visibility, you have that experience before. How do you portray to them for them to know exactly that? Oh, this person can do the job. Let's even speak to the person. Okay, that's exactly where you need to come in. Okay, so now what most people think job application is like. Okay, you see a job that you like. Let's say it's a project management role that you're interested in. You see a job that you like. What do? You decide to apply for it. You take your CV, you probably do a basic transformation, and you then apply for it. Okay, then at the end of the day, most people feel like when they apply for a job, the recruiter will go ahead to review their CV. Okay, so there's a person there that would go review that CV. So the idea is somebody will read my CV, and when they read my CV, they will know I can do the job. But that's not the case. And the reason why that's not the case is very simple. For every job that you see online that you want to apply to, okay, in a manner of 3 days of keeping that post active, as available for people to apply to, the average application is about 250 application per job that you see online. So if you go on the job board today, in which we're going to do a bit of practical, you go on the job board today, okay, and you want to apply for a job, and you see the job has been posted maybe a couple of hours ago. If you do that job application for the next 2, 3 days, an average of 250 people would apply for that job, if not more, into the job market. So the key question I want to ask you now is, do you think any recruiter on the planet would have the time to review 250 applications or read people's CV, 250 people's CV? Do you think that's possible? Do you think that's possible, guys? Do you think that is possible? No, ATS. Okay, nobody says ATS. Okay, fantastic. Okay, no, there's nobody that would do that. There's no recruiter that would literally do that. There's none on the planet that would read even 50 people's CV. It's going to be a lot of work. Okay, for them to review 50 to 100 applications. So there's no recruiter that would do that. Okay, that will read through everybody's application. Now let me show you exactly what happens. You see a job that you like online. You apply for the job. The first hurdle you're met with, the first thing that you need to destroy. The first hurdle you need to destroy is the ATS. And somebody put it in the chat already. The first hurdle you need to deal with is ATS, applicant tracking system. Applicant tracking system. So ATS helps filter and reduce job applications. That their job is to reduce. All right. So rather than looking at 250 applications, can you look at 20? That's what they're trying to do. So you see, there was a time. Okay, there was a time. I don't know if it's still the same thing, but when you're applying for jobs and you're applying for jobs and you're applying, you just find out that some jobs would send you automatic rejection email. Okay, so you apply for a job now, and in like 5, 10 minutes, you're getting an instant rejection email. And most people, at the time, I never knew what ATS was. I would feel like, did the recruiter really read my CV? And in such a short period of time, decided I couldn't do the job. It was very, very heartbreaking. Okay, but it was nothing personal. It was just it was a system that was looking for certain things, and those things that it was searching for, it couldn't find it on my resume. And it is yes or no. It's either you qualify or you don't qualify. If you don't qualify, immediately you are sent an email. But I think in Europe now there's a regulation or some kind of thing around that where it's not instant anymore. So there's a delay, maybe like a 12-hour delay. So it doesn't affect people, mental health and all that. So so there's a delay. But before, when I like 2000, like 2019-ish, it's almost instant. It's like Indomie. Okay, you could actually send the job, and that rejection email might come in faster than when you're cooking noodles. Okay, so I'm telling you this. The reason why that rejection email is coming in is not because, so even if you're receiving it 12 hours after, honestly speaking, you just know at the back of your mind that it's just the new system that they're building to give people more, to not to come off as very, very brutal and harsh. Okay, so you don't get it 2 minutes, you're getting it now in 12 hours. Okay, so don't say that, okay, somebody read it. Somebody definitely read it. Okay, so that's the whole idea of what they're doing. But basically, it's fast. It's a system. It's fast. You apply, you don't meet it, you get rejection email. So what we're doing, so with ATS, there are three things they are concerned about for every CV application that you put out there: keywords, formatting and structure, and chronology. Now, keywords is what most people are familiar with. Okay, so when you're looking at tailoring your CV, you're trying to put in certain keywords to appear. Okay, you're trying to put in certain keywords. Now, formatting and structure is also not very, it's also very important. and we'll talk about formatting and structure. But the one that people really don't know about is chronology. Okay. Now, if I should ask anybody, do you know what chronology means? I mean, some people might be able to answer, but in terms of how it is being used by 8 years, you really don't know. You really don't know. And now, let me spend a few seconds explaining this to you. I'll just spend a few minutes on this. Okay. I'm trying. I want to get a pen so I can write, and you can see you can see what I'm writing easily. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. All right. So we have this. So now take for example, we have somebody that has digital marketing experience. So like a digital marketer, digital. Okay. So I'll try to use everybody's experience as examples during today's session. So now as a digital marketer, okay, you apply for a job where they say they need somebody that has 3 years of experience, okay, with Google Analytics. Okay. They need somebody that has 3 years of experience working with Google Analytics. Now, you see what most people, everybody's CV, yeah, if your CV is not structured in this way, you probably need to go change your CV. But most people's CV, you first of all have your name and all those things. I don't count those ones, your bio data. But usually you would have your professional summary as your first, that's the first thing that you should have, ideally. Okay. Professional summary. Okay. Then after professional summary, you have your core skills, core slash technical skills. Okay, technical. Okay. Then after your core skills, then you have your experience. Experience. Okay. Then after experience, then you go ahead with your education, certificate, and all those blah 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 blah. This year has to be the last. Please don't go and put your education at this position. When you put your education at this position, it basically means you don't have experience. You don't have experience, and education is the only thing that you have to show people. Okay, so that's something you also need to know. So professional summary, core skills, technical skills, experience, and education. All right. So now let's talk about chronology in this situation. So you have somebody here that you have a job post that is looking for somebody that has 3 years of experience with Google Analytics. You see, a lot of people will just take this Google Analytics. Okay, we take Google Analytics and add it to core and technical skills. That's what most people would do. Okay, am I correct? That's what most people would do. They'll just analytics. They said they're looking for 3 years of Google Analytics. Take this Google Analytics and add it to the core and technical skills. True or false? That's what most people will call tailoring.
Cool.
Yeah. So now, at the end of the day, what does 8 years? What would 8 years do to this person? Now, if you are this kind of person that does this, 8 years in this chronology that we're talking about, basically the order of things, how things are being ordered, how things are being arranged, how everything is transitioning from one to the other. Okay. If you do this and you add Google Analytics only to your core and technical skill, you see the only thing you're going to get, maximum you're going to get in terms of years of experience, is 6 months. The only maximum you will get is 6 months. Now, somebody that does this now, that has a pretty standard CV, that has an okay CV, puts Google Analytics and core and technical skills, save as PDF, and applies for the job, and gets a rejection email like, you know, I did everything now, and all that, and this thing still did not work. Okay, and let me tell you exactly how chronology works. Now, this has given you 6 months. So out of 3 years, you are still left with 2 years and 6 months. Okay, 2 years and 6 months. Now, in this your experience, you need to mention Google Analytics. If once, maybe twice, you need to mention Google Analytics a couple of times. So in this your experience, let's say you worked in a place for between 2000, let's say 2002 to 2000 2022 to 2023. That's 1 year experience. Okay. So if you put Google Analytics, okay, leverage Google Analytics and blah 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 to manage, um, organic leads, blah 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 blah. You put it in there. Then 8 years would assign Google Analytics again 1 year of experience. Okay. Now in the next one, you put 2024, okay, to 25, whatever. Let's say you have another 1 year, okay, another 1 year. So this is another, you put in Google Analytics in your job description or your job achievements. You are likely going to be given another 1 year. So that is 2 year and 6 months in total. So you're still missing out 6 months of work experience. Okay. And that's exactly how you get chronology too on your side. So if you just put it in your core and technical skill and you say, oh, I'm done, I've tried, and you apply, okay, only 6 months are awarded to you. Maximum is 6 months of experience is given to you for Google Analytics. But meanwhile, you're missing it out in your experiences, and that's exactly why. Sometimes I'm not saying this will negate it. There's still so many other things that ATS will take into consideration. But if you have like 2 years, 6 months, there might be exception, okay, given to ATS to take between 2.5 to 4 years of experience, or 5 or 6 years of experience, okay, and you find out that you have plenty years of experience and you apply for a job that requires 3 years of experience and you get the rejection email, it is still chronology. Okay. So you have 3 years of experience. They are looking for 3 years of experience, but you have 10. You are overqualified for that role. In Nigeria, they will take you, but outside the country, they will not take you. All right. Yeah. So one of my experience was also based in the UK. Applied for the job. At the time, I claimed I had 6 years of experience, but this job was 2 years. The salary was fantastic. Okay, the salary was good. I think the salary at the time was about, then at the time when I was looking at getting into that, I was doing that role, okay, was paying about almost £350 per day. It was a contract role, okay, and they were telling me that I was, too qualified, that I won't stay on the role for too long. I said the contract is for 24 months. They said they want somebody that the 24 months is just 24 months, but they need somebody that would stay longer. Okay. The initial contract is for 24 months, but there is an 100% guarantee of extension. So I was like, I'm happy to take it. But the HR later came back to tell me that I'm too qualified, in the sense that the things that I'm going to be doing on the job, it's not going to excite me long term. And it will mean that when I leave, they are still going to have the burden to go look for somebody else. Okay. So in order for them, they want to get the right fit person that will stay in that role for a longer period of time. And the person that will fit into that particular bracket is somebody that has between 2 to 4 years of experience. So that role will be challenging enough for them. It's going to be exciting enough for them to keep them on the road for too long. I say, we should be excitement again. Give me job, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, I didn't get a job. But yeah, that's when I now, started to think that, okay, do you know what? I don't need my full years of experience to apply for every job. So I have 10 years of experience. I don't need to use that 10 years every single time to apply for every single job. Okay, so I started breaking it down. So if a job has 4 years of experience, I'll probably go 5 years. Okay, then I have 5 years of experience. Okay, when I say a job that has 2, 3 years of experience, I'm going maybe 4, 5 years of experience. So it's you tailoring that's your 10 years into getting you what you want. Okay, so I don't know. Are you guys learning from this? Anyways, are you guys learning from this? Is this exciting enough for you? Are you learning from this conversation so far?
Yeah, I
Yes.
have a question.
Yeah, it's
If
good. It's good.
I
All
have a
right, fine.
question,
I
if
love
it,
Grace. Go ahead with your question.
what if the job doesn't specify the years of experience? Because if you look at the Canadian market, they will list like 15 things for just one job role, and you know that role is, or the job description is something to be done by like two other people, but they fit everything into one role and they don't put the years of experience that they need for the role. How do you manage that with chronology so you
Yeah.
don't shoot yourself on the foot?
If it's not specified in the JD, in the job description, then you can use whatever years of experience that you have. Okay, it's not going to be a major factor in for 8 years. Okay, and I mean, if they put it at the back end, that you can never, you really can't tell. To be honest with you, so I would say you should use the usual one. So if I have 10 years of experience, I don't use 10 years every single time. I would probably be stuck in around 6 to 7 years of experience because I want to get a job and I want to get into the industry. So I'll be looking at between 5 to 6 years of experience on average that I'll be using. It's only if a role now comes up that is a big role that I feel like I could do that requires 10 years of experience. That's where my 10 years is going to come and play. 10 years outside the country means you're a leader. You're not going into like a middle management. You're going to a leader position. You know what I mean? So that's something you have at the back of your mind. So for most roles, on average, 5 to 6 years of experience. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's it. So Constantine, also thank you for always giving me feedback. I really appreciate that. Okay, so now moving on to this. Okay, so at the end of the day, you apply for a job. HS is going to take a look at your CV. If it is a no, you get another rejection email. But if it's a yes, that's when it's at that point the recruiter will now read your CV. Okay, it's not at the beginning. It's after 8 years gone through and removed, all the unwanted CVs. That's when they now, collate out of 250, maybe 20, 15, 30. That's when they now select those ones and they push it to the recruiter. Then the recruiter would now spend time to review your CV. But now, there's another puzzling statistic I want to share with you. How many seconds, not minutes, how many seconds does it take a recruiter to review your CV?
10, well, 7 to 15, 10 to 15.
10 to 15 seconds. Okay, interesting. That's good. 10 seconds. Okay. Now let me make it interesting for you guys. It's actually less than 10 seconds. It's usually between 6 to 7 seconds. It's usually between 6 to 7 seconds. Even if you keep it at 10 seconds, what is the recruiter looking at in 10 seconds? Do you think the recruiter is reading your CV in 10 seconds? No, nobody's reading your CV. So that's misconception you have at the back of your mind. When somebody reads my CV, they will know I can do the job. Let me bust it for you today. Nobody has the time to read your CV. Now, in these 10 seconds, they are still looking for keywords. Okay, let's take this recruiter for example. Let's say this recruiter's name is Samuel. Okay, Samuel is not going to be reading your CV to know exactly what you have done in your past experience. Samuel is looking for somebody that has Google Analytics experience. The guy is looking at Google Analytics, or he's looking for that keyword Google Analytics across your CV. So every time your Google Analytics pops up, that's when it's going to take out time to read, your CV. But if it takes a look at your CV, you only see Google Analytics just once, and that's the end. Okay. I'll come back to you. Okay. All right. So initial scan out of 30 people, initial scan will reduce it to about 5 people because not everybody is doing what they ought to do to capture the mind of the recruiter. Okay. Now let me tell you what you need to do to capture the mind of a recruiter today after today's session. Now, all of us are outside the country, so most times once you're outside the country, we usually buy a Benz. Okay, so you have a Benz, you want to fix your Benz, you want to do a maintenance on your Benz, and you have 3 mechanics. Okay, you have 3 specialists mechanics that are going to help that are putting up themselves, bidding to repair your car. They're so special. Okay, so you have the first mechanic, Michael. Michael has experience fixing, has a wealth of experience fixing Toyota, Lexus, and Honda. That's Michael. Now, another person is Susan. Susan has over a decade experience fixing Mazda, Hyundai, Kia, and BMW. Now you have a third person, which is Tayo. Tayo has also a wealth of experience fixing BMW, Toyota, Kia, and Benz. Which of these mechanics would you choose? A, B, C. A, B, C.
See, tire.
Tayo. Grace, why would you take Tayo?
Because there's Benz in his experience.
Oh, fantastic. That's interesting. Why not the other people, Susan or Michael? Why would you not consider them?
because they didn't say they can fix the bends.
Well, okay, that's interesting. That's very good. Any other person contrary opinion to what Grace has said? Grace, thank you so much for that. Any other person contrary to that? Ibuku says tire because he has relevant experience. Okay, beautiful. I think looking at this, Winnie, yeah, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think I will still pick Tayo
Okay,
because he has experience in different like 3 brands of car that are different. Like
okay, fantastic.
yeah, like Toyota, which is different, which is Japan,
Yeah,
Benz, which is a German product. I think
yeah,
and the Kia, which is Korea. These are
yeah.
3 different countries' products. Then, if you want
Mm.
to compare it to Susan, I Honda, Kia, and whatsoever is the same. I think I don't know
Maybe,
who produced Mazda. I don't know, but BM is German. I don't know.
yeah, you want to be a
Yeah. Then for the Toyota and Lexus, and Toyota and Lexus is the same company.
champion. All right, that's good. That's very good. Also, I like the way the way you went about it. It's also very good. All right, so it's a resounding. No matter how you, based on the analysis that you guys have done, it's most likely that everybody's going to go with Tayo. And the reason why you're going to go with Tayo is because there's still Benz in his experience. He has done something with Benz. I will trust Tayo because he has done it before with Benz. So he has done so many other things, oh, no doubt. Okay, but that Benz is there, and I can see it. So you see, the reason why you're getting rejection email, it's not that the market is tough. The market is definitely tougher now, okay, because I mean there's so many tools, so many things that you could do to make yourself competitive. So the process also is not competitive and strict. Okay. So you see, when you're applying for a job, you're applying for a, let's use somebody else. You're applying for a, let's say, front end development, a front end development role. But on your CV, you have, maybe you put customer service representative. When you when you finish NYC, you started as a customer service rep. Okay, from customer service, you moved to retail. You start working in the branch operation, retail banking, retail banker. Okay, let's just call it that. Okay, then for retail banker, you now moved to what? Let's use another experience. Let's move to operations. Let's just put it as operations or something. Then you're now outside the country. You now put front end development, front end dev. Okay, you see this kind of person is likely going to get a lot of rejection emails because what precedents have you set in your experience that gives you the experience in order for you to apply for a front end developer role? Okay, so you see this structuring. But you see people now, especially I see this with guys in the UK a lot. Okay, you see, you are currently applying for like a BA role or business analyst role. Okay, but your current role is your menial job where you're working as a, where you're currently working as a, let's say, a warehouse operative. Okay, so with this craze of, oh, I want UK experience, I want Canada experience, so you go take up a menial job and put it on your CV that you're currently working as a warehouse operative, but you're applying for a role of a business analyst, and you want them to believe and trust that you can do the job. It doesn't work that way. So you see how chronology and keywords matter. So for this person that is going with front-end development, for example, like Tayo, okay, I need to show that I have done this. I have precedence. So your first experience might be customer service, but it's not related in any way to front-end development. So please don't put it. Don't put it. Anything that doesn't have to do with your role, don't put it there. Don't put it on your CV. For this front-end dev person, please start with WordPress developer, WordPress, developer, or something that is a junior role or junior something. Then from WordPress developer, you moved into the role of a, refine your experiences and tailor it to the role that you're applying to. Okay. refine all the job, the names of what you're doing in those roles. Refine every single thing and tailor it to the role that you're applying to. The same thing with the role of a business analyst. You can start off with maybe an operations analyst. From operations, you can move to a junior data analyst. From a junior data analyst, you move to a junior business or a business data analyst. From business data analyst, you now move to a business analyst, consultant, or whatever. It should be a progression. So with this progression, it gives them confidence that you can do the job. Okay, this is just naming convention first off. Okay, this is just looking at the naming convention. So naming convention for the roles that you're applying to matters significantly on your CV. Okay, and that's that. Does that make sense, guys? Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Please, anything to do with survivor job, please don't put it on your CV. It doesn't help you. It doesn't showcase. There's nothing like UK experience. Okay, it's just a facade that people have built up over time because of plenty rejection email. Oh, it's because I don't have any UK on my CV. That's the reason why I've got a rejection email. No, nothing. Nothing like that. Okay. Don't put anything survival. I'm currently working in the warehouse. I'm currently doing customer service. I'm currently doing whatever care or whatsoever. Please leave it out of your CV and look for something else that you can put there that is tailored to the role itself. That's what I'd say. Okay, Winnie, yeah, I'll take your question. Winnie, are you there? You're muted.
No, I don't have question. If
Oh,
someone has answered it, yeah.
okay. Your hand was raised as well. I was asking. All right. You just answered a really big dilemma. Okay. Let me see. You just okay. Okay. Omololu, you should discard. We should discard our survivor job? Yes, we should. Please discard it. Trade away. Absolutely. But what if they ask about what you're doing now? So yeah, that's a very good question, Kevin. So you need to probably look at doing something else. Probably, talk about how you're currently working as a freelancer. You're currently doing a bit of freelance in the career path that you're working on. That's the easiest way you can go. That's the easiest route. So you're currently working as a freelancer. You're currently working because you just relocated to the UK or whatever the situation is. You can find a story around it where you're currently working freelance and you're building projects for people or companies based in sub-Saharan Africa or in Europe. Okay, you just find a way to package yourself to portray yourself as the best candidate possible. So that's what I'd say. So at the time, me, that's what when I relocated newly to Ireland, that's what I said I was doing. So I was working freelance, even though I was just doing personal projects for myself. I just told them that I was working freelance. Okay, so I work with quite a number, and obviously with the digital age where we are, it's not difficult for people not to believe that you work freelance. Okay, so Kingsley, yeah, let me take your question.
Okay, I think you just answered the question. What I wanted to ask is on like I wanted to use myself as an example
Yeah.
that you said we should not put our current job title, for instance.
If it's menial,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Most especially when it doesn't correspond with your years of experience, maybe coming from Nigeria. Like for me, I have experience in supply chain and logistics in Nigeria. So coming down here after my masters, I happens to be a support worker, which does not really have any connection with supply chain or logistics. So I'll be trying to apply for some jobs, but it's not um, um is not working. So
okay,
if I want to remove, although I have not put anything that has to do with care in my CV. So
okay,
yeah, but my question is, if that won't be there for me, what I do put there is my years of that I did my masters, and I have
okay.
work that I'm doing in Nigeria safe. I'm just doing it online, it's just there.
I would say you should don't talk Nigeria, okay? Don't talk Nigeria. Don't say, "Oh, I'm working for a company in Nigeria." Nah, it's it's a touchy subject for most recruiters and employer. All
Okay.
right. So I will do away with anything that has to do with, I'm doing something for my company in Nigeria. I'm doing something in Nigeria. I noticed it also. Okay. So the moment you start to say, oh, I used to work for a company in Nigeria, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they start to question. They might not say to you personally, but they start to question, okay, and not even reach out to you anymore. So what I would say is, currently I work for businesses that are across different parts of the world. So I've worked with businesses based in the US, Canada, UK, and across Europe. So I work with clients, I get contracts and all that, and that's what I do at the moment. And it's as simple as that. So don't mention a specific country, Nigeria or like in Nigeria or
Okay, but
Ghana.
on the
Okay.
CV, what will not be in that gap?
Don't worry, I would explain that. We're
Okay.
going to talk about TV. Then
Okay.
we'll
Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful. I love that. Very good. I mean, that's exactly why we're here, But thank you very much for that. So now let's go straight to now. Do you understand which might, I mean, we might not have addressed every single thing, but now to a very large extent, you have to start to see the reason why you're getting a lot of rejection emails.
Hello?
Hey, Chineke, is it Chineke?
Yes, my hand's been up and I'm actually going into a very noisy space. So I just thought I'd be on mute and ask my question.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you for everything you said, but there was something you said that was even more interesting. I've noticed sometimes you want to apply for a job, and then you could have like 10 years of experience. They're looking for three, but you have what they're looking for in non-chronological order. I'll give an example. Say in 2015, what you did in 20 from 2015 to 2017 is what they are looking for, and then you did something in 2021 and that's what they're looking for. Do you take your experience from 2015 to 2017 and put it as the first part of your experience before the other part, like so before 2021, or do you make 20? How do you arrange it in such a way that it's relevant to them and they don't have to start questioning why is he putting an earlier experience over a later experience? I don't know if my question makes any sense.
Yeah, 100%. I totally understand you.
Okay.
You
Okay.
see, yeah, like I said, most people would always approach, and I love that question so much because a lot of people might be in this situation also. I've been there also. And I'll say this just to answer the question. It really doesn't matter how you arrange it or where you arrange it. My guy, what I'll say is most people want to be truthful, absolutely truthful when they're applying for jobs. Okay. You want to be so super truthful, okay, when you're applying for a job. And let me explain the reason why you don't need to be 100% truthful. Job posts. I have one slide here. Job post. When you see a job post, okay, it's basically a wish list. They wish they add somebody, okay? It's a wish list. They just wish they had somebody that knows how to use all the technologies, that knows how to report, that knows how to, they want, it's a wish list. Okay, and the moment you know that this is a wish list, that they just wish they had this kind of they wish they had this kind of what do you call it, the kind of candidates. That's when you probably start to think about, okay, how do you structure your CV better? Now your question is very, very interesting and very, 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 relatable. Now you have 10 years of experience, okay? Okay, these guys are looking for 3 years, okay? 3 years in a particular place that you've done, maybe in your maybe when you were like when it was like 2 to 3 years into your experience you did it, then you did it another when it were about maybe 7 to 9 years you did something that was relating to that again, my guy. Okay, please, it doesn't concern you what time you did it in your year of experience. So if they're looking for 3 years of experience, I would say the maximum you should go is 5 years, ridiculously 5 years of experience. So what I would say you should do, 2025 to 5 years below to 2020, my guy, whatever they are looking for, that's what you did. It's as simple as that. Nobody is going to be saying that, okay, send me the reports that you did in 2020. Let me see that you actually did it in 2020. Nobody's going to do that. Okay, we want to be very truthful in our application process, that we we want to provide detailed, you want to make it detailed for the employer to show that you are being truthful. But in the market today, being truthful doesn't cut it for you. Doesn't even help you in any way. So you see, in the last 5 years, all the things they said they are looking for, that's what you did in the last 5 years. Exactly what they are looking for. That thing that they said they are looking for in the last 5 years, that's what I have been doing for the last 5 years. Okay, you apply for another role, okay, that requires 4 years of experience. You see, this thing that you did in these 5 years is not important anymore. You see, the job, this particular job, let me really use actual job boards to do this, okay, to explain this better. Okay, so let's take, for example, you're looking at getting into who asked the question again? Sorry, let me just skip my head for a second. I know you dropped your hand already. Yes, Chineke, yes. Yeah, so let's just go on LinkedIn. Okay, so what role are you currently looking at the moment? This one.
Transitioning into IT audits.
IT audit, fantastic. Cybersecurity, a bit of security. Just come here. Okay, and I'm gonna go.
I was a business analyst at least for about 10 years before my transition.
Oh, okay, that's good. So, I mean, that means you have quite a number of roles that you could actually go into. Okay, so let's go to. I'm just going to go on LinkedIn and just quickly do a quick search in the UK and see how we can work it out. So, for every job that you're applying for, all the one. Okay, let's just go straight into job, and I'll search for business or IT audit or any one of them, analyst. Okay, so I'm going to look at the United Kingdom. United Kingdom, and I'm going to search. Okay, business analyst in the UK. So now this particular set of people, let's take the first. One thing I will always do is start within the last 24 hours. Start with those ones first of all before I move into 2 days ago, 1 day ago. Okay, so I go with the fresh ones. Always go with the fresh ones. Okay, so when you want to buy bread, also you don't buy bread of 5 days ago, 3 days ago. You buy bread that they just finished making. So for job posts, also make it a duty of care for yourself to apply for the fresh ones when I just coming out. It gives you a better chances of getting started. Now, looking at this particular role, this is a senior business analyst role. Okay. Now these people are looking for something. Okay. 5 years of experience in business analysis, process mapping, user story creation, strong communication, blah, 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 blah. This is what you're going to be doing, user story and documentation, requirement gathering. This is what they are looking for. My guy, if you have done if you've done change management, you've done, process improvement, you've done digital transformation, you've done every single thing before, it really doesn't matter to these people. This is what they are looking for. It's like, this is what they're looking for. Please give them exactly what they're looking for. And add Jara, do you get it? You can add Jara, no doubt about that. But that thing that they're looking for, let it be so easy for them to find it on your CV. Let it be as simple and as easy as possible for them to find it on your own CV. Okay? Then you can add your Jara after. Okay? But don't focus on that Jara. Don't make the Jara the main thing. The main thing they're looking for is now the CV that you're going to use for this senior business analyst role and this senior business analyst role can never be the same CV. The reason why I'm saying that is these people are also looking for somebody that's key responsibility. You'll be responsible for working out how to address challenging problems and clients and blah, blah, blah. You will work with quant research, data analytics to produce recommendations, blah, blah, blah. These guys have another set of responsibility for their own senior business analyst. Now, if you take the CV from that particular place and you want to use it for these people, it doesn't work. So what are you going to do? That your 5-10 years of experience, these people are looking for, let's say, 5 years of experience also. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, there's no years of experience for this one. Let's say another 5 years of experience for this role. That your last 5 years, all the things you did in your last 5 years is not important. It's not innately important. What is important is the role that you're going into. Okay, so you need to take yourself in the last 5 years and say that this thing that you're looking for, the last 5 years of my life, that is what I've been doing. Okay, this thing that you say you're looking for, look no further. That thing, I have it. I'm doing that. In fact, how did you know exactly what I was doing before? How did you know this is what I used to do in my past experience? That's what you want to portray to them. Okay? That's the simple way to put it. Okay? So all the wonderful things you did, data analytics, you were able to use, you could use your phone to create a report. You could sleep and design a BRD, business requirement document, in your dream, and it will be sent out to emails before everybody wakes up. All those fantastic things you could do in your experience. If that's not what they are looking for, it is not important. It is the Jara. So it's the extra. Let me use the word extra. It's the extra. The main thing is what they are looking for. I don't know if I've answered your question, Chineke. Okay. So
Yeah, yeah,
that
you did, you did.
okay,
But then,
fantastic.
I think another question is, so how do you now, like, how do you work with the time? Like, you know how you put, this is where I work in, 2029, from 2029 to, or 2019 to whatever, like, just stating how do you arrange that, the dates, right, in a way that it kind of makes sense enough to, because sometimes some of these companies will say things like they're going to call the person you were working for, or some of that nature. So how do you fix that?
Okay. So from my own experience, very good question also is most of the usually I would advise you should have somebody in the places that you've worked. So majority of the businesses that I run at the moment, I'm direct analytics. We would give you the reference. We'll tell you that put us there as your work experience. Okay, and let them call us and then we'll stand in for you. So for you, if you're going to probably using a company based in Nigeria, for example, I would say have somebody in the organization that can stand in for you. It could be a past colleague. So in my own past experience, when I just recently moved, I used my actual colleague, not the person I was reporting to, because I did not do anything data related when I was in Nigeria. All right. So what I did was to talk to a friend of mine in the office it was just like a colleague. Okay, I'm applying for jobs at the moment. I'm going to be using you. The probably will reach out to you and talk about this data thing. These are the things that you could say. These are the things I said I did, and so on and so forth. So having those kind of people on your team will make it easier for you to a very large extent. In other sense, you could also, if you have friends in the country that own businesses, you could also do the same thing with them, and they could stand in for you. That's like short-term fix, to get you what you're looking for. Does that make sense? Does that add up for you?
Yeah, yeah, it does make sense. It makes sense. Thanks so much.
All right, no problem. But anyways, we'll still address all this, some of these questions in a few minutes. Reginald, I know your hand was raised. Reginald, I'll just take a question quickly so that I can move on to finishing up the CV aspects real quick. Okay, Reginald, no, you're not muting yourself, so I believe that your question has been answered.
Okay, can I ask my nine?
Okay, Grace, yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, so my question is the same as what Constantine has. When we make these edits on the different CVs that we are customizing to the different jobs we are applying, what
Yes,
now happens to your LinkedIn profile? Because you
beautiful.
can't tweaking your LinkedIn profile to accommodate these changes, right? So
Yes,
how do you manage that? Because that's one of the first things that most recruiters or hiring managers would always reference. Number one, to be sure that you're a real person and you are who you say you are,
true.
right? So how
Yeah,
do you manage that?
very good question. Very, very good question. Very good question. Very popular question. So what I would say, very simple. When you go to your LinkedIn profile, um, and that's where I usually would tell most people focus. Okay. So if you want to become a business analyst, focus on business analyst. If you're looking at becoming a product manager, a strategy manager, that's career path you want to go in. You're not deviating too much from that. Please focus. There is a power in focus because it makes it easy for you to align on all ground. So what you're going to do is as simple as going to your LinkedIn profile and keeping it to the career path that you're looking for. So all you want to do now is keep it simple. In what sense? Keep it simple to having just the name. Okay, having just the name of the job role that you're doing, the current job role. So take for example, let's just use example. Let's use a data analyst. Okay, every job role that you have here should just have data analyst, business intelligence, whatever name that you want to use around data analytics, business data analyst, data consultant, data something, whatever. The title, the job title, that is what you should have there. Okay? That's just change the job title alone. Put in the name of the company you're working with, put in the timeline and the location and skills. So majority of the time when you're editing, when you are putting this, there's a point where you put in skills, putting the skills in there. Now, you see this description of what you were doing, please don't put anything there. Don't put anything there. Don't keep it silent. Okay, don't put anything in the description. Oh, I was able to build a report that led to customer acquisition. I was able to. Don't put anything there. Keep it silent. So your CV is what they will still rely on what you actually did in the organization or for that organization. So you see, when I'm applying for jobs and apply for, take for example, my own experience, I worked as a data analyst, data scientist, and data engineer. So I could apply for data engineering roles, I could apply for data science roles, I could apply for data analyst roles. Okay. What did I do on my own profile? My profile was just basically business intelligence, data engineering. Okay. Business intelligence, I'll put / data engineering, I'll put data analyst, but there was no job description. I didn't put any form of description in there. I'll put in the skills, but no description in there. I don't know if that answers your question. So, I mean, if somebody now sees your CV, you said you are a business data analyst and you apply for the role of a business data analyst. And I come to your profile and I see your progression, business intelligence analyst, business systems analyst, and I see the progression in there. It's not going to be far-fetched to what you have on your CV, okay? And that's what I would recommend every single time, okay? Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. But where then is the place of keywords? Where
On your
then where
LinkedIn,
then smuggle in the keywords that are relevant to the industry where you're pitching yourself for?
on your,
Um,
key, on your LinkedIn or on your CV.
on your LinkedIn, because I know that.
We're going to talk about that,
Okay,
okay?
that's fine. If you're
So
gonna get that's fine.
it's not, nobody's going to be coming to experience to look for keywords. LinkedIn doesn't even look for keywords in your experience. There are other places in searching for it, and I'm going to talk about that today. Maybe not in today's session. So the week challenge, we're going to talk about all that, okay? Because doing everything in a day might be a bit too much, okay? But I'll talk about that. It's not, the keywords are not going to be your experience. They're in other places around your around your what do you call it, the headline, the about, and all that. So those are the key places. Your profile picture, your banner. That's the keywords. That's where you need to put in a bit of more keywords. But I'll talk about that in a few minutes in the challenge itself. All right. So looking at these two CVs, if you are using your CVs like Olivia Wilson, okay, what you see on the screen today, please, I want you guys to fill the form. The reason why I want to fill the form is I want it to be easy for us to identify each other. Like, I can help you better. That's what I'm trying to do. So you see, Uche has dropped the form. Please, I want, if you could just take, it takes about a few minutes for you to fill the form. So the career path you're going into, your current location. So I can tailor. The week challenge is going to be helping you achieve what you want to achieve. Okay. So within that 1 week, I want to help you achieve as many interviews, okay, and structure you better into your job search and getting started in your job search. If some people might actually get interviews within that week, and I will still prep you for those interviews. I will teach you how to prepare for those interviews. So I want to know where you're located. The location makes it easy for me to tell you what job boards to use, what kind of jobs you could apply to, the volume you need to put out there, and all that. Even in Canada, same thing. In Calgary, they're looking for opportunities. The opportunities in the US, you could actually apply. So I need to know all these things, okay? So it's easy for me to. So if you can take out 5 minutes for you to fill the form, it will be very good. So Uche has dropped it. It's in the chat section. Just go to the chat and please fill the form. All right. Now let's go straight into it. So these are two CVs. Most people want to go with the CV of Olivia Wilson, but that's the absolutely wrong CV you need to go through. Most job boards if you're using LinkedIn to apply for jobs, it has 8 years. Most of those recruiters use 8 years. And if you use Oliver Wilson CV to apply, you will likely get a rejection email. There's a higher chance of you getting a rejection email using those kind of CV. All right. But if you're in a very creative space, if you're in a you're in that creative space, okay, you might have to have a mix. That's you're a content creator, you're a product designer, okay? It doesn't even matter. I would never advise you going through a route, okay? So a minimalist CV is what you need to work with. A minimalist CV, minimal, no design, no table, no boxes, nothing, just words. That's what you're looking for. That's what you need to work with. Now, this is my
Sorry,
own CV. Yes,
sorry, my
Nathaniel.
hand has been raised. Yeah, my hand has been raised for
Yes, I
a
need not.
bit now. My question is this: on structuring your CV to align with keywords here. You see,
Yes.
it's I think it's slightly easier if you're in the technical field or a science-based profession to actually do that when you're looking for jobs here. Because I mean, for those in tech, if you say maybe a web developer, it's expected that when you see such openings, there'll be certain tools they want you to have used or be familiar with. It's slightly more difficult if you're coming from a pure arts background and you're looking for something like internal communications roles where with each organization you're applying for that internal communications assistant or internal communications officer, the requirements are different and there are some where they don't have certain tools they expect you to have used. It's almost like it's inshallah and vibes when you look at the description because I'm looking at one of them now and there's no single tool. They just say significant experience in marketing or related role, previous experience in national media coverage or writing for media, experience in developing relationships. So there are jobs that
I
maybe
don't
I don't,
have,
yeah,
I
that
think
don't have technical tools.
yeah, there's no real they will know technical skills. Technical skills doesn't have to be
Tools,
well tools like you say. Okay, yes, okay, that makes sense. Um, I would address that in a few minutes. Okay. We'll talk about I will discuss it better in a few minutes. Okay, and I would use you as a point of contact. Okay, but before I go into that, okay, in order for you to position yourself outside the country, especially if you're outside the country, you also need to know what career paths that will continue to stay relevant and it will be easy for you to get a job. Okay. Now, if you're a banker in Nigeria and you move to Canada, for example, banking in Canada is so different from banking in Nigeria or in Ghana or in any part of the world. Okay. Yeah, maybe there's literally maybe a few people that would work as tellers. The major work will be for bank advisors and all that, bank advisors and all that. That's where it is. In Ireland, banking also is so different. Okay. I remember when they gave me a check and I took it to the bank, I was expecting them to, the way in Nigeria that they'll go and make photocopy, they'll write pen on it, they'll go and meet the manager to approve the check, blah blah blah. In Ireland, when I went there, there was only one lady on the cashier. There was only one lady that was there. I already gonna give the lady the check, and she was looking at me like I was from the. She looked at me like I came from the village. She was like, what's the problem with your check?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I want to get my money." And she was like, "Oh no, you use the ATM for it." So where am I going to? Um, you also need to position yourself in a way where you are going to continue to, it's going to be easy for you to get a job. And the very one document I didn't plan to talk about this particular, based on your question. There's a document from the World Economic Forum. It's called the Future of Jobs Report, Economic Forum. Okay, Future of Jobs Reports 2025. So you see this particular report. Okay, the Future of Jobs Report. I read this report, and this was the report that made me transition into the data ecosystem. Okay, at the time they were saying that data was data science is the sexiest job of the future. Data is the new oil. This is where it started coming from. The future, this was about 10 years ago, so 2015-ish. Okay. And that's what led to me going into the data space itself. So you see the future of jobs report, it's a very large document. It's a 290-page document, if I'm correct. 290 pages document. Okay. So what this document talks about is roles that will continue to grow and career paths are going to continue to decline. So I'm looking for it. I think there's a plot. I saw it just now. So the skills that are necessary, the industries, and so on and so forth. I saw it just now. Okay, yes, this is it. Yeah. All right. So now what they did was jobs that are going to continue to grow, fastest growing and fastest declining jobs, 2025 to 2030. Okay, and this is one of the best. I would say one of the best reports when it comes to future of jobs. Very, very detailed. So fastest growing jobs, big data specialist, fintech, AI, software development, security management specialist, and you see, it looks like everything is technical. Okay, but there's also they did a further breakdown of top fastest declining jobs: postal services clerk, bank tellers and related clerks, data entry clerks, cashiers and ticket clerks, administrative assistant and executive secretaries. Quite a number of AI tools right now are even doing these jobs perfectly at the moment. Printing and related trades and so on and so forth. Okay, even see graphic designer. Now you see, something I've been training in the last, I would say 2-3 days. Sora, Google updated Sora. Is it Sora? Yes, Sora, and it's creating videos that are super realistic. Super realistic. Okay, so graphic designer is another role that's likely going to be declining in the next 5 years. Okay, now looking at this also, they now broke it down into job functions. Okay, so you see here, job growth and decline 2025 to 2030. So now you need to come here and look at career path that you are in. Is this in the next 5 years or in the next couple of, even now, say, is it declining already? So job growth, you have the normal technical guys. They're still not all are technical guys. So you see light truck and delivery service drivers is still going to be in high demand. Okay. You have environmental engineers. You have I'm looking for something that is not technical. Okay. That doesn't feel like it's only technical. Digital transformation specialist. This is majorly within the role of a business analyst. Okay. So digital transformation, process automation, these are key roles of a business analyst. Okay, so if you're a business analyst, I would say you should not start learning anything that has to do with process automation, learning tools, technologies that you could use for automation. So Power Automate, AI tools for automation, Zapier, and the rest of them. You can start to learn all these things and all that. Okay, so now I just wanted to touch on this so that you can get to see that, okay, this career path I'm in, is it going to continue to stay relevant? You see declining jobs, compliance officers, relationship managers, special education teachers, construction laborers, sales representatives, and so on and so forth. So these are career paths that are going to be declining in the future. So you need to know, position yourself, okay? If you need to go and learn the new skill, please go and learn it. Okay, if you have to spend the next couple of months while you're applying for jobs at the moment, or you're even working at the moment, start learning something else that will keep you in demand, not just in the country where you are, but literally anywhere in the world. Okay, so I will talk about that in a few minutes. I would use yours as an example to how CV actually works, and then we'll use that as as a test. So for every job, for every great CV, I wanted to talk about, this is my CV, and the reason why I stuck to this CV and I've been using the CV for most people is there was a time I was applying for a job in the UK, and a recruiter reached out to me, asked me a question, first level interview, asked me all the questions they wanted to ask, and at the end it was like, "Oh, Ifemena, I love your CV." I wanted to say this from the start of the conversation, but I wanted to wait to the end. So they said, "I love your CV," and I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." He said everything that he was looking for, he could find it. And I'll repeat it again. Everything he was looking for, he could find it. And immediately he said that, it struck. And he forever stuck with me. And I say this to everybody that is looking for a job. make it easy for them to find what they are looking for. So that thing that they're looking for, make it easy for them to see it. So don't make them think. Don't give them work. Okay, they're already working. Don't give them an extra work to read to find out what to read behind the lines to see if you can get the job done or you cannot do the job or whatsoever. So ever since then, I keep it very simple, straight to the point. You're looking for ABC. I have done that ABC and I show it to them, and that's exactly what it is. So for CV Matchly, okay, for CVs, essentially, there are 5 critical parts: your professional summary, your core skills, your technical skills, your professional experience, and project or internship you've worked. So these are relevant projects that you've developed by yourself or something, all right, you can also share on your CV. So these are the 5 critical parts: professional summary, core skills, technical skills, professional experience, and relevant projects and internship. All right. So do we have on our CV, okay, do we have these 5 critical things in all our CVs? Let me ask you guys. Everybody, just give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs up, or do we have all these 5 critical things in our CV? Okay, fantastic. I can see quite okay, 3 people, 4, 5. Okay, fantastic. That's beautiful. So now let me show you something. Now I'm going to send the materials to you. I would also show. I would also create a video how you can optimize your CV, how you can create your CV. Even if you have your CV already, I'm going to show you what you need to do to creating your own CV. So I'll send a video to the group by Monday at the start of the at the start of the challenge. The first thing that we need to do is clear out our CVs and start working on our CVs. I'll review your CV, then you can start applying for jobs and all that. So by Monday, I'll send across the video where you can actually watch the video, and I'll provide you with the template, the CV templates. I'll provide you with all the things that you need to have to creating your CV. Okay. And that's what I'll do over the weekend so that I make it available for you on Monday. First thing Monday morning. First, I'll try to make it available as early as possible on Monday. Okay. So that you can start to build it, before the end of the day, and then I can review it if possible. All right.
Can I make a request, please?
Yes, yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so thank you for wanting to share the templates with us. I think that would be really helpful. But I think what would even take it to the next step is for you to, for the CV that you're going to send or the CV you're going to be tailoring, let's have a job of a job posting, and then you tailor the CV to that job posting. So we can look at how you translate the job postings into a CV. I don't know if that is making sense. For someone like me, I'm a very visual person. That's how I learn. So when I see it, I can compare and say, oh, this is how we did it. This is where, do you understand? We understand how you pick out the keywords, how you form the sentences, and then it's easier for us to, or it's easier for me, let me not say us, there might be smarter people here, for me to translate, so that even after we are done with the session, moving down, further into the months, we can confidently say that we can create a CV that can get us interviews. So I don't know if this request is too much to ask, but I would appreciate it.
Beautiful, Grace. Thank you very much. I love suggestions like that. Like I said at the start of the session, it's your feedback that will make me add more value to it. If the feedback doesn't come, then I'll just, act based on my own knowledge. Okay. So you see all the questions I've been asked. That's the reason. So I love the fact that you're sharing that. So I'll make it very easy, and that's the reason why we have CV Matchly. Okay. And I'll show you, and I'll use who asked the question again about give me a second. I'm gonna just pick one of my guys here. Sorry, my name Kingsley. Was it Kingsley that asked the question? Kingsley, was it you or Nathaniel? I think it was Nathaniel.
Yeah, it was. I was the one that asked the last question.
Okay, Nathaniel, yes. So what job roles are you currently looking for example? Yes.
Internal communications manager, communications officer. Those are the kind of roles I'm looking out for, basically.
Communication. That's basically your experience, communications. So let me just look
Yeah.
for communications manager specialist. Let's take a look at communications manager. Okay, so they posted, let's look at the past 24 hours, 32 plus, not too bad, very good. Student communication and engagement, customer communication squad manager. This is nationwide building of society. This is good. This was 10 hours ago, so I love this. So let's take a look at this. All right. So now this particular one is about the job. You're a natural people leader. We're passionate about creating blah 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 blah. Our squads. What you'll be doing, about you, and this is it. So now this doesn't have technical skills like you said. So it's just basically more soft skills, correct? Positive, continuing improvement mindset, strong so now for this kind of person I want to apply for this role, how do you go about it? This is also a very good role. KFC UK. This is actually a very good role. All right, operations communication and events manager. That's a brilliant role. So that's exactly what we created CV Matchly. Okay, so how do you know you need to tailor your CV? Now with CV Matchly, all you need to do first of all is I'm going to create a detailed video on how you can do all the things. Even though the session is recorded, I'll still create another video on how you use CV Matchly. So what you want to do is first of all go to your Chrome browser, and so Chrome browser, it's a Google Chrome extension. So you go to and search Chrome extension. Okay, search for Chrome extension, click on Chrome extension, the first one, then search for CV Matchly AI. Okay, just search for CV Match. You just see it will pop out immediately. So it's a Google Chrome extension. Okay, so you click on this and you would add to Chrome. So currently I can see remove from Chrome, but you can literally just put it there, add to Chrome, and you're good to go. Okay, so once you have add to Chrome, you would see this. You'll see this. Once you come to this icon here, you'll see CV Matchly AI. I pinged mine so that it's always easy access. It's easy for me to just click on it. So I pinned it to the tab, to this, so it's easy for me for easy access. Okay. So now, once you've done that, you will need to create an account. It takes barely 5 minutes to do all this, as I've said, 5-10 minutes, ridiculously, to set up the Google Chrome extension and all that. So with this Google Chrome extension, remember, like one thing I was trying to do, okay, one thing that we were trying to do essentially was everybody's facing the same issue, and that is, how do I tailor my CV? First thing is, do you even know that your CV is even good to apply for that job? So you always get a rejection email. Okay, do you know the reason why? Okay, first thing first, you'll see there's an analyze button here. So now the first thing you need to do is drag or drop your CV. Okay, so I'm going to click on browse, and I would attach one of my CVs, one of the test CVs I use for this situation. So CV, I'm going to scroll down to test CV, and this CV is more of a data analyst CV. Okay, so if I open it now, okay, I would have, you see it is Michael James, and you see it here. I'm a dedicated data analyst with 3 years of experience, blah blah blah. All that. So basically, more data inclined, essentially. Okay, I'll minimize that. I'll click on it, and I will open. I will add it to this. So first thing I will do is to analyze. Okay, I would analyze the CV against the job description. So what CV Matchly does is it extracts the job description immediately. Once you click on it, the next thing is to look for the job description, to extract the job description. I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. So you see, I'm going to scroll down. I don't need to show you, I don't need to see it every time, but you see it here. This is the job description. So automatically it extracts the job description immediately. So now, what are the keywords that are missing in my CV? Okay, quite a lot of quite a lot of keywords are missing. Okay, so keyword match 8 out of 20, very poor. Skill covered 43%. Experience match 36%. So you see this data analysis and the keyword match, anything that has to do with data problem solving, data driven, keyword match. This was a good. But there are keywords that are also missing: customer communication, regulatory communication, people management, leadership, squad management, and all the keywords that are important for this particular role. It's missing. Okay, so currently my score is 38%, which is very, very poor. Okay, even 50% is poor. 60 is poor. Okay, good is 75 and above. 75 is good. Great is 90 and above. So you need to get above 90%. I would usually advise to get above 90% anytime you want to apply for a role. And that's exactly why we click. That's why we have the optimize button here. So once you click on optimize, now all these keywords that we have here, that's the challenge. And that's exactly what the question Grace was asking. How do I know how to start putting people management? It's just going to look very, very methodical. It's going to look very messy if you're putting those keywords in different places just for the sake of putting it. So that's the reason why we have optimize. So where you can easily generate an optimized CV. So you see the target score is 90% plus. So it could be actually above 90%, but above 90%. Current score is 38% and the target score is 90%. So you see, generate optimized CV. I'm going to click on that. So what this would do in like 30, 40 seconds is it's going to look at your CV. It's going to look at the job description. It's going to look at the keywords that are missing and optimize your CV for you. It's going to help you optimize your CV in about 30, 40 seconds, about 30 seconds, not about 40 seconds. So now I'll take a look at it. Now I'll click on the download PDF. Before I click on download PDF, let me show you something. So it's telling you, it will also tell you the optimization suggestions, which is your strength, your CV strength. So you see strong data analysis and visualization skill, experience in communicating complex findings, proven ability to collaborate with cross-functional team. So these are the strengths. But areas of improvement are also there, okay? No clear evidence of people management, lack of direct experience in customer communication or regulatory communication, no mention of multi-channel communication delivery, limited demonstration of experience in continuous. There are quite a number of improvement areas. Obviously, I'm using a data analysis to apply for a communication. You can clearly see that there's a lot of gaps in there. But there's also an overall assessment. But I don't need that time because I have my. I mean, if you have the time to read it, that's fantastic. That's good. But all I need to do is generate an optimized CV, and I'll click on download PDF. Okay. And here is the optimized CV. So now I'm going to take a look at them side by side, okay? The old one and the new one, okay? So you can see for yourself. Now, this is the data analyst CV. This is the CV I was using before. So I want to zoom in a bit so you can see. I am a dedicated data analyst with 3 years of banking, logistics. My career is marked basically data inclined. But now see this. Dynamic and result-driven communications leader with extensive experience in data-driven communications within regulated sectors, proven track record in leading high-performing teams to deliver complex, impactful, and customer-centric communication across multi-channels. So you see how it has written it's leveraging those certain keywords, multi-channel, and so on and so forth. I saw multi-channel. I remember multi-channel was one of the keywords in there. Okay. So you see everything is written there in a way that it doesn't come off as, as methodical or, basic, if I would say that. Now, skills, okay? Sorry, I meant to go and click on something else. Skills, customer communications leadership, cross-functional team management, continuous improvement and change management, stakeholder engagement. These are like core skills, okay? Now you still have other technical, resource management, Adobe Workfront, behavioral science application, compliance, regulatory standards, and all that. So these are like your own core skills, okay? So you see, it's trying not to take away your past experience. So you said you're a data engineer before, and that's the reason why you need to work on your CV and don't just use any CV. Okay, don't just use any kind of CV. Like the way I use data analyst to apply for a communications role, I would not advise that because it's going to do a lot of thinking. Okay, it's going to do a lot of revamping. But I mean, if you have a proper communication CV, it's going to read your resume and tailor it exactly to the role. So from job function to everything. So you see this, it added customer communication lead, okay, to this particular role. And that's the same thing it's going to do, across, the career experience. So you see what you have here now, conduct comprehensive data analysis using SQL, Python. This is what they have. This is what I had on my CV, but it has taken it away. Led a squad. So you see squad management or squad something, what they call those people. Led a squad of analysts and content specialists to design and deliver regulatory customer communications, ensuring compliance and alignment with industry standards. Okay, implemented a data. The way you have data in there is because I need to take a look at the job description if there are a lot of data stuff in there. But because the role is, because my CV is data, okay, that's the reason why. But you see, it is you'll bring experience in creating and delivering personalized dynamic communications with using data, or demonstrate the ability to quickly learn and adapt to data-driven communication tools and templating solution. So that means it's taking exactly what you have on the JD. Okay, so you see, that's exactly what you have there. So this makes it easy for you to tailor your resume as quick and as fast as possible. So you can take the content here, use it to fill in your CV, and then apply for the job. I don't know if this makes sense. Grace, is this something? Grace and Antonio, what do you guys think about this?
Yeah, so it does make sense. I've already downloaded the extension. Now, my question is, for some of the application job boards, you put in your CV and they tell you it's ChatGPT generated, it can detect if there's an AI, whatever. How does this differ from me using ChatGPT that is with a very good prompts, and all that? What's the difference, and how do I make sure that I don't shoot myself in the foot going this route as well? Because I think this is similar to job analytics in terms of optimization.
Job analytics, I'm not sure about. Okay, but this is a bit more. This is, like I said, the reason why I would always recommend to have your CV tailored first of having like your CV in a structured format. Okay, in the format that I talked about initially, is based off this question. Okay, now if you're just having ChatGPT come up with these things from nowhere, okay, it's likely going to be AI generated. It's going to be detecting as AI generated. But now what this is looking at is helping you tailor your own experience into, it's taking your experience. Okay, you either worked as a communication manager, or you have it on your CV that you worked as a communications manager. So it's taking that actual experience and it's refining it is refining that your experience into what you have on the job description. So it's not generating it from nowhere. It's taking your experience and sort of enhancing it, okay, rather than just coming out of it from nowhere, from literally from nowhere. So that's the difference. And the key thing also is when you're working with AI is, and prompt engineering is one of the key skills, of anybody that's looking at going into using AI and all that. The way you create content with AI and the way I will create the same content with AI, it's going to be very difficult for you to detect mine, okay, just the way I would work it out. So those are the things, intentionality and things that we've put into action that would ensure, and you can test it out. What you could do is, I don't know, there are quite a number of AI generated tools out there to test for AI generated tools and check, have your CV optimize your CV, upload it onto those platforms and check if they are AI generated. And you see that it's not going to be able to detect if it's AI generated. I mean, we use our own AI tools, okay, for this, not the regular chat GPTs and the rest of them. So it's our own AI pre-trained resume scanner that we are using to get you what you're looking for. All right. I don't know if that makes sense, Grace, but like I said, test it out and see how it works. Then we can move on from there. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much for that, Grace. All right. So yes, so that's one of the easiest way for you to get your CV tailored. Now the good thing also about CV Matchly is, if I go to my dashboard today, once you create an account, you're given a dashboard. Okay. Now, in today's job market, volume is key. In as much as you're putting out quality volume. So if you're going to be doing 5 applications every single day, make sure that 5 application is of great quality. CV optimized, application optimized, and everything. Put yourself out there. Just ensure that it is. But using even CV Matchly, you should be able to do more than that. Okay. So now, what CV Matchly does for you is it keeps track of all your applications. And that's something that you need, honestly speaking. In my own situations where I apply for jobs, sometimes I forget that I've even applied for the job. So it's when the recruiter reaches out to me that I'll now be trying to remember, what did I write in the CV? Okay, so we have like a tracker okay, that keeps track of all the stuff that you optimize. So you see this particular one I just did, customer communication squad manager. Okay, this was October 10th. I found this job on LinkedIn. Okay, so if I click on actions, I can view the job and say that, okay, yeah, I did this role. I can remember applying for this job. All right. I could also download the CV that I used in applying for the job. Okay, just to ensure that okay, I remember what I actually wrote to these people, and I can also generate a cover letter. So looking at the job description, looking at your CV, is going to come up with a cover letter if you need it. Okay, you can easily generate a cover letter whenever you need it, and that's it. Okay, so making it easy for you to then tailor your resume and also keep track of the resume that you've applied to. In the future, we're currently working on CV editor, making it easy for you to create your CV and also prep for interviews. When you have interviews coming up, it will help you prepare for interviews and all that. So all these are still something that we're working on at the moment. But yeah, that's essentially the case itself. So I mean, you're going to be getting access to these for the challenge. You're going to be getting access to these for the challenge. And once all you need to do now is just create an account. You're going to be getting access to it, and you'll be using it for the challenge. Okay, come on Monday. Okay. So Winnie,
Please, I have a quick question, please.
sorry. Okay, it was Winnie's, and let me take Winnie's first, then I would take yours, Matt.
Okay, sorry. Considering the analysis you displayed for us, the careers that are likely to go into extinction, what
Yes.
tools would you recommend us to start learning to quickly upgrade? Like I'm looking at switching to a career that will have more lifespan now. So, what tools would you recommend us to start learning?
Okay, it depends. What's your experience like? What were you do? What kind of role? What job do you do at the moment?
At the moment, I'm doing a survival job because of visa, I wasn't opportunity to get a good job, but I was in banking in Nigeria.
Banking in Nigeria. What kind of role would you like to do? Let me ask that question now. That'll be the next question. What do you like doing? Do you like numbers? Do you like what would you say you like doing? Like what kind of job are you looking? What do you like doing? Let me ask you. So when you're looking at a career in the future, do you want to
Mhm.
talk to people? Do you want to like talk to people, interact with people on a daily basis? Is that something you love to do?
Yeah, I don't. I would want to interact with people on a daily basis. I also want to. I also like numbers. You
Okay,
know.
talk. And you also like
Yeah.
numbers.
Yes.
Okay. So on the scale of 0 to 10,
Mhm.
how it was talking to people? What would you rate this? Talking to other people.
7.
7. Numbers, like dealing with numbers heavily.
7 as well.
7 as well. So do you want coding? Do you mind learning how to code, or you don't want to? It's not something that you want to do.
I can. Yeah, I'm good at memorizing, so I don't mind learning how to code. I
You
mean,
don't.
it can advise to learn anything that will make you to remain relevant and go into a
Okay.
career that will go into extension later.
Okay. So coding, definitely a yes. Okay. But you okay? Yes, yes, it's fine. So talking is 7, number is 7, coding yes. What was your past experience? You said banking.
Yeah, banking.
What were you doing in the bank?
I did compliance, I did relationship management, I did retail banking. I was never in operations.
Okay, relationship management. Okay. So now looking at this particular experiences that you have with
Mhm.
what you've said, key career paths that I would recommend that you go into that you can consider. We could have
Mm,
like a detailed conversation. That's this coming week. We
mm,
can have conversations around career paths you need to go into and so on and so forth. Well, essentially, over the top, just looking at this, number one, that's always been relevant and very, very high in demand is data analytics is number one for me. Based on this, talking to people is 7, number 7, coding a yes, but obviously for data analytics, you don't need to even start with coding. Okay. So,
okay.
but as you progress, you would need to. Okay, like if you're going for like a senior data analyst, so you've become a data analyst and you're
Mm,
looking at progressing into becoming a senior data analyst, you would need to learn coding. All right. But for a start, you need to learn coding. Another career path you need to consider is business analysis. Okay. business
Okay.
analysis. That's another because of your relationship management experience,
Mm-hmm.
because of clients experience, because of that. Now with relationship management, you're just servicing clients. You're already servicing clients. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
to pay for my staff. I want to be able to create accounts that will make it easy for whatever request that you get. You can easily communicate that to the banking team, and then you can see how you can get it done. So
Mm.
business analysis, to a very large extent, is another career path that you could actually go into. You should highly consider. Then just to throw in the third one, project management is another career path. Okay,
Okay.
project management. So amongst these three, okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm.
we can discuss better,
Oh,
during the week to find out which one works for you. So that's 7 days. It's
mm.
going to be for you guys, honestly speaking. Okay, it's
Mm.
going to be focused on you guys to see what career path, what can you start doing today to get a job, to stay relevant, and all that. That's what we want to do for that 7 days, and ensure that you get the best experience.
Thank
So
you so
now
much.
this,
Thank
it
you
sounds
so
good.
much.
Yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, I'll be looking forward to speaking to you next week.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
looking
so
forward to.
yes, that's fine. Matt, let me take you next.
Yeah, good afternoon. I think I tried connecting with you a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
I think when yeah, because I wanted to move into a data analyst role. I think when you
Oh,
started the 10 ethics, but at
okay.
least yeah, I got some experience, but at least maybe when you doing along this time, I'll try and I'll try and
Oh,
get
that's
more
so
stuff.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Never knew
So
that. So sorry about
yeah.
that.
So my really my question is the CV Matchly, does it only works with LinkedIn or it works with Indeed, Monster, and all other job sites too?
It works with most of the major platforms that we work with. So indeed, everything, as long as you're using the Google Chrome, it works. Okay. So indeed
Okay,
also,
thank you.
yeah, it works with every job board. If you're in the UK, also the same thing. The likes of read.co.uk. Okay, so Read used to be my favorite platform, to be honest with you, when I was in the UK. I mean, do we use Read? Do I have anybody that's in the UK that use read.co.uk? Nobody, actually.
I
Nobody.
used to use
For
it
job
before, but
hunting,
I
for
got
applications,
tired.
So
Yeah,
Nathaniel, so what did you say?
we use Read
I
for
said
Read works like Indeed here, right?
But yeah, Indeed is still Indeed also. But yeah, Read is also on its own.
I've used it for applications sometime when I came in.
Read is actually very good. Read is good. Um, yeah, I mean, so I use Read. So another place I use very well is JobServe. Do you guys know JobServe?
Job serve, no.
No. So I think they have like a very, very strong location finder. So I can't see UK jobs from Canada. And that's why you see I'm only seeing Ontario, UK. But if you're in the UK, you would see UK job. JobServe is a fantastic place, honestly, especially if you're looking at contracts. You're looking at contracts, and you're looking at, some very, it has very good positions also. So JobServe is one. We'll talk about job boards, okay, this coming week. Okay, where you apply for jobs, UK, US, Canada, remote opportunities. We're going to talk about every single thing that you need, everything. All right, this is an opportunity for you to get as much information as you want in a week. Okay, so Matt. Okay, I think Matt, did I answer your question already? I think so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. All right. So I'm going to create a video for the CV. So like I said,
I have a question. My hands are
oh,
raised.
okay, yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much for the session. This will be my second time connecting, and the first time I connected, um, it was like kind of a job profiling, and one of your member had told me that I would be putting on the internship class with Gary, but I never got a feedback. So what I'm
Hmm?
asking is, I've done a lot of boot camps, internships for business analysis, but still the job market has been brutal. But with all the things you've said today, it has really helped. So with this job search we're going to be doing for the week, do we have to have your experience on our resume or just with what we have currently, regardless of where the experience is coming from?
Yes, it's just going to be where you are at this point in time. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So we'll work with what you have at the moment. Okay. So
Thank you.
if we get to see that, I don't think it's, I would like to see what you have at the moment before I say
Okay.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
that, and that's not just you, that's for everybody also. So
Okay.
when we look at when you create your CV, I review your CV, I give you a feedback, then we can now sit down to talk, as to what we can do differently with the experiences that you have currently, and how you will definitely find something that works for you at the end of the day. Okay,
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
awesome, Angela. Good connecting again. Okay,
Okay. All
thanks.
righty.
Babaji Day. Okay, let me just, I don't know if I should just finish up. I'm almost done. Okay, so we can just spend the next few minutes talking about question and answer, and then we can proceed from there. So, what do you think, Babaji Day? Should I just finish up the session so that we can easily just take question and answer?
Yeah, that will be fine. That'll be
Okay,
fine.
thank you
Thank you.
very much. Appreciate it. Okay. All right. So, like I said, for the CV, I'm going to create a video on how to create your CV. So I might not be able to use everybody's. I'll take a look at the form that you guys are filling. That's the attendance, not registration or whatever form that we're using. All right, the attendance form. So I'll take a look at that. Look at the prevailing career paths that are in there, and I'll probably tailor it to the most. Okay. But if I don't get it most, I'll probably just pick the one that I feel like would resonate with most people, and then I'll create a video that then you can use to create your own CV. All right. Now, this template CV is very important. Like I said, is that you have to select the career path that you want to go into. So don't say, "Oh, I have skills as a project manager. I have skills as a as a communications manager. I have skills in compliance. I want to apply for the three roles at the same time. Can I not do it?" It's not going to work. Okay. There is power in focus. Just having that, I want to double down on one thing and get it done. There's that power in it, and that's what we want to focus on. And I want you to see it in a week. Okay. For you guys in the UK, for the guys in Canada, I don't think we have anybody in the US, so we'll keep it to the guys. We'll keep it simple. So I'll create those videos, create your own CV, and then we can proceed for that in the during the 1 week challenge. All right. So job postings and wish lists. This is something I said, and I noticed this early enough. No, I won't say early enough, okay, because I had a lot. I failed a lot when I was in Ireland. Okay. So for people that are currently looking for a job, oh, I can't get a job. I need this. I need that. That's where I was when I was in Ireland. Also, I couldn't get a job. I would apply every resume, every job board I go into, and I looked at a job. It looked as though I was insufficient. Okay, every single time. Okay, until I got my first job, I saw the job description, I applied, and eventually I was able to get my first job. And guess what? I actually was working in the warehouse. Let me just say this. I was working in the warehouse. I was doing menial job also. So I had finished my master's, even though I started the job during my master's, but even after my master's, I was still looking for a job. So independent time I got a job, I was working in the warehouse. So how did I all these things I'm talking to you today? I said that you should don't put those job descriptions on your CV, customer service, warehouse, and all that. Don't put it on your CV. It's because I've been there. All right. So working in the warehouse, I was putting warehouse on my CV, but I was applying for data related roles. The number of rejection emails where I get, it's another conversation for another day. But you see, the moment I got my first job and I removed warehouse and I put in business intelligence, okay, I got about 3, 4 offers before in the next 6 months. In 6 months, in that about 4 months, not about 6 months. Okay, I started in March. I got another offer by September. So April, May, June, July, August. Okay, about 6 months. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, about 6 months. I was able to get, but I didn't start applying immediately. So that's why I'm not saying 6 months. Oh, it's less than 6 months. I started applying for jobs again 2 months into that role, but with a different job title. Okay. And I started getting more offers. So it now dawned on me that that's one of the major reasons why I was getting rejected. Okay. So long story short, wish list, job posts and wish list. You go to the job board and you see they have plenty of things in there. It's just a wish. They just wish they had that kind of person. They are wishing. If they say that, what car do you want to drive today? you will wish you were driving a Phantom, a Rolls Royce Phantom, or a BMW, or one man nice. If you had all the money in the world, what car would you drive? You mention the best car possible. You wish you had it. Okay, so it's the same thing. They wish they had somebody that knows how to use Python, that knows how to use Java, that knows how to interpret different languages at the same time, can speak French and Spanish. It's a wish. Okay, so apply for every job, every opportunity you see, you miss out 100 opportunities that you don't take. You miss out 100% on the opportunities you don't take. So if you apply for a job and you know clearly that you might not be able to scale through it, there's still a 50% chance they will call you. There is a 50% chance they don't call you, and there's a 50% chance they call you. So me, I will be hopeful that I tilt towards the 50% chance that they call me. So if you tailor your CV properly, you have a standard application, you have a fantastic application. There are other strategies I'm going to show you guys that you guys can work with, but that will be during the challenge anyways. Okay, so job match your CV. That's where CV matcher comes in for you to match your CV. You could use ChatGPT for the challenge. It really doesn't matter, but like I said, it's faster, it's more efficient using CV matcher because you don't need to copy. You don't need to copy and paste. It's fantastic. It works very easily. All right. So the job challenge starts on Monday, the 13th of October to the 19th of October, and it covers everything. Using CV Matchly, mentorship sessions. We're going to have mentorship sessions where we talk about any challenges that you're going through, and how you can overcome it. I'm applying for remote roles. I'm applying for how do I interview? How do you interviews? How do you prepare for interviews? Everything you need to know. I will be teaching you every single thing you need to know in getting a job in today's job market. So custom cover letter, application guidelines, step by step, everything is guided. It's not a very massive class, so you will still get that one-on-one feel from me. Okay, so I'll be dropping messages to the group. I would want you guys to take advantage of this opportunity to CV review, to where to apply for jobs, to what you need to do to get a job into the job market, and all the things that we're going to discuss. Okay, so it's going to be for a week, and I want you guys to take advantage of it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all for today. So the challenge will start on Monday, and then we take it up from there. All right? Does that make sense, guys? Are we excited, guys? Are we
Yeah,
excited?
so
Yeah.
So excited.
Thank you very much.
meeting every day next week.
It's going to be every day next week. We're going to be
Okay.
meeting at least 1 hour every day next week. Okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. So grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. What's the best platform for hunting in Canada? So currently, LinkedIn should be number one for now. But there are other job boards, niche job boards that I'm going to share with you during the challenge that would help you assess other opportunities. Let me just give you one tip of the bird. One tip. It's a remote job board. It's a remote site, so it's called Built-in. So Built-in is for remote tech roles in the US. I'm more of tech, so sorry. So if you don't, but it's sometimes they have other roles in there, HR, other roles are in there. So what I would say you should look at is United States, okay? United States, and I'm going to keep it to fully remote, and I would see your jobs. So you can now specify what kind of roles are you looking for. So let's say Constantine. If I remember, what role are you looking for, Constantine? Okay, let me just say finance, somebody in finance, okay? So financial manager, financial whatever. So let's say financial analyst, okay? Financial analyst. So you see quite a number of financial analyst roles are in there, okay? All filter, I'll look for the past 24 hours and I'll view. I usually will start with the fresh ones. Please, when you apply, number one rule is focus on the fresh ones that just came out. They just came out, hot bread. That's what you're looking for. Focus on that. And these are remote roles in the US, okay? Not in Canada. Okay, these are remote roles in the US. So the guys in the UK also can leverage this. The guys anywhere in the world, even in Nigeria, you can actually leverage this also to apply for remote roles in the US. Some of them will specify. So this is remote or hybrid. So you probably these people might want you to be in the US to work remotely in the US. But you really can't tell. They don't specify. Okay, they don't specify that you have to be in the US. So, like I said earlier, then you miss out on 100% of opportunities you don't take. Okay, so once I see this role like this, I'll still apply. If I know if the even if they specify this role is they need you to be in the US, I'll still apply for it. Okay, and I'll prepare so much for that interview. So Atlassian, Carbon, HSO, Lead Bank, there are quite a number of roles in there that you could take. But this came out in the last 24 hours. Okay, and the other naming conventions also. So a lot of people think financial analyst is the only role I can do as a financial person. No, there is still financial planning. So if I look for financial analyst and I forget financial planning, okay, all right. There are other roles in financial planning. There's commercial analyst, there's commercial analyst. There's still so many job roles. So I'm also going to explore job roles and job functions that you can apply to, okay, that would give you more opportunities to apply for roles. So business analyst, business systems analyst, business data analyst, process analyst, the same thing with so many other roles in there. Like thankfully, one of the guys, Nathaniel, they talked about communication. He talked about so many roles. Okay, that's the same thing that happens when you're looking at job in the job market. So, all right, Cloud. So we'll talk about job boards in Canada, and we'll explore different ways that you can use and get an opportunity. All right. Yeah. So any other question? Any other question before we call it a day? Babaji Day, let me take you now.
Thank you so much, Ife. The session has been enlightening and it's opened my eyes to so much. But basically, I could say I have a little dilemma, which is my experience uh, for 14 years prior to 2023, before relocating to the UK, has been majorly security and specifically intelligence analyst and executive protection. So, on getting to the UK, jobs I could get required some level of security clearance uh, that needs me to have lived in the UK say, for about 5 years. So, this has been a very big challenge for me. Yeah, I have a background in computer engineering for BS and masters, but you know how it is. You just go through school and have those certificates. Without you going for certifications, definitely you can't perform. I have a clear understanding on how most of these things work, but I don't have the technical requirement in terms of certification to do well in jobs I apply. If I decide to apply for cybersecurity roles, I don't have the technical competency in terms of certifications. So now it's a big. So if you, I'm sure you know, security generally is the same thing. Just that IT security requires you understanding firewalls, understanding, you know, but I have the clear knowledge around how these things works, but I do not have the certifications to secure those jobs. So this is a big dilemma. I'm just giving you an insight ahead of the challenge so that you can, if there's a way you can think around this and by yeah.
All right, so it's definitely so when you say you have 14 years of experience in intelligence security, what does that mean?
So I used to work for the National Intelligence Agency in Nigeria. You know what that means? So basically, 9 years out of those times, I was an intelligence analyst. I worked in the office. 4 years was for executive protection.
So what kind of tools do you work with? But when you say intelligence, is that
That's the DSSSS. Do you get?
is it like actual security, not web security?
No, actual security, national security.
like physical, when we say security, okay, now, is this physical security like human security, like security, or is it IT security?
CIA, FBI kind of security. That's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
That makes
Yeah, like
yeah,
DSS, SSS.
yeah, something like
SSS. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Okay,
so.
so
Hello, I would like to. Can I talk?
no, give me a second. Yes. So let me
Okay.
just finish what you did for a few minutes. Okay. So very good experience. Very good. So now I think with that, it's not just about the security clearance. It's not about certification. It's about you gaining the experience that you need to get a job. So if you have a ton of experience in intelligence security, uh, cybersecurity might be a good place for you to go into, no doubt about that. Okay, but you also need to sit down and find out what career path would you succeed in. Okay, what career path would you succeed in? Now, when you're looking at, I also worked with I also did interviews with company in the UK that required security clearance. Okay, some of them 2 years, some of them not as detailed, like the way you're talking 5 years. I never really found myself in those kind of organization. So what I would say is there are tons of people in the UK, tons of companies in the UK that constantly recruiting for cybersecurity professionals or people. Okay, are you okay now? Now that you're in the UK, do you want to continue in that same line, or do you want to move to a new line, or do you want to move to something else?
So I've been thinking and I've been working on cybersecurity audit and compliance as the first option because it doesn't require much technicality.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at security management specialist as well.
Okay. Okay.
But
Very good.
as much as cybersecurity audit and compliance does not require much technicality, they still expect you to have certifications like CISA and a few things. And without finding yourself in that space, practicing, it's going to be quite difficult to just go for the certification because experience itself matters a lot.
It matters beyond any form of certification you get. So do you know what we'll do, Babaji Day? So I understand. So we'll probably figure out a time next week where we have a one-on-one conversation to profile the best way we can go about how you should approach it, the best approach you can take. Okay. So the key thing is getting a job. Most times, most people don't know what it means, what it takes to get a job, what you actually need to get a job. So we'll set it out next week. So we'll figure out a time next week. We'll sit down to talk about opportunities, okay, and how you can position yourself to get in something, okay, and the focus, okay. That's what we're gonna do next week. How does that sound? I think that's what I would recommend at this time, okay.
Thank you so much.
So we'll
Thank
figure
you.
it out
Thank you
next
for your
week.
time.
Yeah,
Thank
no,
you. It's
no problem.
been a wonderful session, I must say. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. I think somebody had a question. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if it's a monologue. It was a guy's voice that was trying to speak. It was a
Yeah,
guy that was
it's
trying to speak.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's me,
it's
Abraham.
not a question, it's actually a request. I know, let me start by thanking you for giving us this opportunity and putting it together. It's a request. I know the challenge is starting on Monday. So is it possible to get a CV template probably today and start working on it and see how we can improve our CV before we now start using it on the Matchly AI?
Yeah. So I plan to do the template is ready. Templates and every other thing that you need is ready. But I want to create a video where I show you how to use ChatGPT, for example, to create your or to modify your CV. Okay, so that's what I want to do for you guys. So it's probably going to take me a couple of hours for me to create a video and send it across to you. So that's what I'll do. So I'll try to see if I can do it tomorrow or Sunday, likely tomorrow, and I'll share it with you. So it's not just about having the template CV, but also ensuring that it's it's okay for you to you can easily tailor create your own CV. Okay, so not just using the template, but actually creating your CV. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
I'll get
makes
it on
sense. Thank you.
Monday, most likely on Monday. Right? All right. So sorry. Abraham, let me take you next real quick.
Yeah, yeah. I just want to thank you very much for the time you've spared to for this program. Honestly,
Yes.
you've addressed my challenge and my problem. Let me just put it like that. And you have just lifted my confidence again. So I so much thank you. When we have a one-on-one interaction, let me just
Yeah.
spend my case to that time.
Okay.
I'm just using this medium to say thank you very much,
Oh,
and
that's
God bless
amazing.
you, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. So, like, thank you so much for that, Abraham. Appreciate it big time. You know, it means a lot. It's free of charge. Okay. And most times when something is free, we initially wanted to put a price tag to it, but, myself and Uchi spoke about it, and we're like, okay, you know what? In as much as we want to make it free for people, we also want to make it. People don't take things that are free for. They don't think it's good value. Okay, like I said, somebody left the community because they felt they're not going to get a value. It's not UK or it's not Canada or something, and that's where they are going to miss out. Okay, so you see, this even though it's free, it doesn't mean like we're literally spending our time to ensure that you get the best value. So next week is going to be I want you guys to just try. It's not going to be easy. Okay, we're all working professionals. We're working full time. We're doing quite a number of things, but most people use their current situation to make excuses for why they've not done certain things. Why have you not gotten another job? You don't like the job you're doing. Why have you not gotten another job? You say, "Paul, I'm doing plenty things. I'm taking shifts, 2 shifts. I have a family I have to take care of. I have to do this, I have to do that." And you see, when I get back, I'm tired. I still have to cook, at the end of the day, so many things. So you see, people use their current challenges, the current life to impede what they need to do in the future. All right. Tomorrow is going to come. Tomorrow is 100%. Nothing stops tomorrow or next week or next month or next year from coming. It's going to come. But it's what you do today that would impact what will happen next year. So now, even if we're just going to be about 30, 40 people in this particular community or that will be active, I want you to try to be as active as you can. All right. And ask as much questions, leverage as much information as possible. I'm looking for a sponsored job. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. Have the list of things that you want to achieve personally and ensure that you leverage us, and that's myself, as much as possible. I've been doing it for the last 10 years. Okay, I've worked in Ireland, I've worked in the UK, I've worked in Canada. I currently do contracts for people in UK, Canada, businesses in Canada, UK, and in the US. So in terms of experience, I do have the experience, and I mentor people every single day. Built Analytics, built Amdari. So in terms of experience, when it comes to helping people actually get started in their desired career, that's what I've been doing. So I want us to work together to ensure that we get the best experience, and also you can get that result at the end of the day, which is getting a new role or understanding how to actually get into a new role. Do you understand? That's what we're going to do for the next 7 days. So thank you very much, guys. I had a wonderful time. Okay, it was difficult for me to break into the quiet, but I think everybody got together to become, on the same page. So thank you so much for taking our time. I know it's a busy schedule. I understand. I totally understand. Thank you very much for taking our time to join today's session. So, like I said, I'm going to make sure everything's available for you. When I say it's going to be available, it's going to be available. So please ask as many questions as you can, and let's say we can work together for the next 7 days. Okay? Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Chris, you said you're my new best friend. Don't worry. Everybody's my new best friend. Okay?
Thank you.
I'll
Okay,
greet
bye.
you next